hot off the press. You're only going to walk through the door in 10 minutes, but this is going to help you with the bloody code from last Thursday. What was the bloody code? Well, in the late 17th century, people became yet more concerned about crime that was occurring. And the problem was it was very, very difficult to catch criminals. So they went through the logical process of thinking, how can we stop crime being committed in the first place? And what they came up with was deterrence. We can stop people committing crimes in the first place by having people executed for all sorts of crimes. For example, if you came into school today and your top button was undone, and the punishment for that was exclusion for a day, you'd probably have your top button done up because the punishment was so big. Well, the idea was the bloody code that so many crimes would be punishable by death that people wouldn't want to commit crime. So there we go. That's what you're going to be looking at today. You got to think of what was it. But there was also things combined with that you're going to think of today. Different types of punishments that came out, like kicking people to another country, which is transportation. Not all punishments were a deterrent, of course. There was the first attempt at trying to actually reform the character of the criminal. So instead of just punishing them, try and change them as a person. There was houses of correction where people were supposed to put to work doing really hard, backbreaking work. And the idea was that would teach them the value of hard labour. And also they wouldn't want to go back there, so they'd go out and they'd get a job and stop being lazy. You've got, what else have we got? Oh yes, humiliation was another, which is kind of linked to deterrent, because if somebody's being humiliated in front of people, the people watching are going to think, glad that's not me. So yeah, there's a few things from last Thursday. Oh, and habeas corpus, of course. Habeas corpus being a law brought in at the end of the 17th century, which meant you could no longer be just stuck in prison without being charged for a crime. So if you're going to get locked up, you've got to be charged for a crime now. And that's for all people. That's a step forward. But you've got to remember that the government could charge any crime. They could say, right, lock him up. What for? Treason. Let's go with treason. And then they could make up evidence and they could get done for it anyway. So yeah, it's a step forward. You can't just be locked up indefinitely, but also there's a long way to go before things are properly laid out, so that they're a bit more formalised. So yeah, there we go.